Hey, welcome to Rack of the Week 177. I made it to the pool hall, so this week's Rack of the Week is on a diamond pool table. But first, as usual, shortstoponpool.com, Ghost Aimers, Bridge Mates, Racks, Shortstop on Pool Gear. Check it out. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you like this video, subscribe and hit the like button. Let's take a look at this rack. I am kind of on an inside break shot. The break ball's a little ways away from the rack. I believe that I'm expecting the cue ball to, as usual, go to the center of the table, but I hit it. I hit the top of the break ball with high rather than low English. And I like this action. The cue ball backs up and then kind of curves forward. And notice I didn't overpower it. I didn't try to splatter the balls all over the table. When you get energy going into the rack this way, most of your balls, the balls are going to go this way, and the top balls are going to go this way in front of the side pocket. Usually your cue ball comes over on this side of the rack, and so you're looking at a shot that way. But this time the cue ball went this way. And then a couple balls came loose here. But the point is, by hitting with that speed, I'm not getting a ball up table. I'm keeping all my work down here on this half, so I like this break shot a lot. I see only one problem, and that's these two balls. And all I have to do is get a shot on the one ball, and I can bump the three ball all the way and probably make a break shot out of it and then shoot the 13 next. So I'm not the slightest bit concerned about that. This is a tiny issue, but the first shot, obviously the easiest shot right now is the 7, and I'm going to be able to bump into that. And I've got a break shot here. And then I've got these two balls. This first stripe blocks the other one. So there's not many problems here. I wanted to show a rack that had a little more trouble in it this week, because lately I have had a few racks where the balls end up spread wide and you're just picking them off. So this is a more common type of rack you're going to have. These balls aren't necessarily clustered, but you kind of got to navigate carefully. This first stripe is kind of blocks the other two from going in this side pocket if that's where you choose to shoot them. So there's some work that's going to happen here, and something that goes wrong. So the first thing I do is shoot the 7 and bump the 14 up. And I'm just cutting this pretty thin. I think I hit it a little bit too hard because I sent the 14 up table. So that's not great, but it's no big deal. Obviously playing position for the 8. I went over to the other side of the table to look, because I think you can see what I'm looking at. What I want to do is shoot this 8, bump the 15 over to the rail. Then the cue ball is going to be here. Now I can cut the 1 and bump the 3, and then everything looks golden, looks easy as pie, right? Yeah, okay, let's take a look at what happens. I'm a little bit straight, so I've got to kind of cheat the pocket, use a little bit of right English, and stun this cue ball over there to get that 15 to move. And I hit the top of the 15 instead of the side of it. So I made a problem for myself. That's a no-no, but guess what? It happens. These balls are lined up to the point. They do not go, and I cannot throw them. Okay, well, I'm going to have to deal with that. But the shot right now is what I played for. That's this. Okay, so the 3 balls out of the way. Now there's no problems on the table except for the one I made for myself. So what am I going to do with that? What you're looking for when you have a problem over here near this pocket, I need to get out of the way. Move, Bob. You're looking for a ball that you can shoot into this pocket, because then you have a cut shot and you send your cue ball over there to deal with that. Now, I don't have that, so what am I doing? Oh, I remember what I've tried to do. What I decided was, since I don't have a good cut shot to do what I just described, I'm trying to come up here for this 4 ball in the side pocket. Because if I can get a shot on that 4 somewhat straight, I can use the 9 in the side, because then the cue ball goes 1, 2, and into those balls. So it's just a little bit of an extension. Instead of cutting a ball and my cue ball taking this route, I'm cutting a ball into the side, taking a little bit longer route. Same thing. When I go into these balls, it's going to be with a little bit of speed, so that my cue ball either goes to the rail and off or comes to the rail and up. Or if it hits the bottom of those balls, at least it'll go to the rail and out. And I'm hoping to get a shot on, if any of those happens, the cue ball is going to be either up here or over here. I'll have a shot on the 6 in the side, or the 10, or this 14 in the corner, or one of these balls in the side. So that's what I'm looking at. Right now, I'm not the slightest bit concerned. Things look real controllable. How'd I get on that 4 ball? Not bad. Oh, wait, actually, I don't have the right angle. I didn't come up far enough. So the point of this, I say keep trying. You got to keep trying. When you have a problem, you've got to keep working it. So 100% of my efforts right now are trying to figure out how to get these balls open in a safe manner. I've got a break ball, and I'm going to work it out. But you've got to keep trying, even though things aren't ideal. You can't be kicking yourself for making a mistake. It happened. Just keep trying. And the worst that can happen is you clear all the other balls, you don't have a shot, and you play safe. You want to play safe after all these balls are gone from the table so that you get the points and so that your opponent, so you don't have to play safe on so many balls. If there's only 3 balls left, now maybe you can come out ahead. Worst case scenario, you're going to play safe if you pocket all of these balls and only these 3 are left and these 2 are still tied up. You're going to play safe by moving this ball so it's no longer in a position for your opponent to use as a break ball. Maybe you'll have a shot somehow where you can send that ball over to the center of the bottom rail and the cue ball up to the top of the top rail. Now imagine if you come to the table and there's a ball here, 2 balls tied up and the cue ball's on the top rail. You're not going to get to run any balls. So that's what you're thinking as the offensive player at the table right now. Just keep trying. Try to keep the cue ball alive. Don't miss. And try and get these balls open. If you do, great. If you don't, you're going to play safe and control the table. And that's what you do when you play 9-ball too. If you don't get a shot, if you mess up position, play safe. Try to remain in control of the table. So those principles are the same between the games. But of course, as you know, I prefer one pocket straight pool. It's a much better game. Okay, so since I have the wrong angle and I can't get a cut shot on the 9, I'm trying to stun the cue ball over with the 3 so that I can shoot the 5, bump the 1, and then use the 9. And I didn't get that either. What do you do when you don't get the cue ball where you need it? Keep trying. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm shooting this in the side and playing position for the 14. Okay, that came out real well, so I'm probably going to go look at the angle. Yeah, because what I want to do now, what I was hoping to do was to get this angle. A little bit frustrated with what happened. The reason why I wanted that angle is because then I can pull the cue ball down here, get a shot on the 9, pass the 4, 2 rails, and bump into these, and open these balls up. That's what I was hoping to do. That's why I hit it so soft. This table's a little faster than I'm used to, so it came too far. So now I'm using up all my soldiers to try and get these balls open. So what I'm trying to do now, I think, is simply cut this 14 and slide over enough where I can cut the 4 ball into this corner. Then I'll be able to just slide the cue ball over to get the right angle to cut the 9 in the side and go 2 rails. Okay. In other words, keep trying. Don't you don't want to get upset about your situation. You wanted to go on a long run and you might not be able to because you tied up 2 balls. Don't get upset about your situation. You have to concentrate on what you're doing so you pocket the balls. So that's where your focus should remain. Just keep trying. Okay. I got the wrong angle on the 4. Messed up again. What am I going to do? Okay. Well, I can't get that angle on the 9. There's no shot to get at these 2 balls right now. So I'm just going to do a little pinch draw and come up here because that's where the cue ball is going anyway. So hopefully then I'll have an angle on this 9 to get over here. Maybe I can go down to the bottom rail, shoot the 9 in the corner, come down here and go into them or something. Just keep trying. Put yourself in a position. Now, I didn't get where I wanted. I didn't get past the shot line to the 9. I'm on this side. So what did I do? Played position for the 6. And I wanted to come above the shot line, which I got. I'm cutting the 6 to my left. Now I can go to the bottom rail and go into those balls. Oh, actually, what happened was I didn't get the right angle for that either. So what do? Keep trying. Okay. So I'm close to straight in on the 15. So I'm going to cut this ball here and either go directly into those balls or go to the rail and open them. And I think I've got the angle to go directly into them. This is terrible because that was my break ball, and this 6 is not a break ball. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm staying in control because I'm not going to miss the 15. Even if I don't come up with a shot, my opponent is going to come to the table with the cue ball here and no shot. And you can manage a safety battle from there because there's only 3 balls on the table. Okay. So let's see how this shot turns out. All right. Not bad. This is, well, let me get to the other side of the table. This is actually workable, and I'm taking a look at what I have. Okay, there's a couple of different routes here. So this didn't come out all that bad. What I'd like to do maybe is shoot the 6 in the side so that I can then shoot the 10 and go twice across. And I just want my cue ball to come back to center table, because then I've got a thin cut shot on the 15 to open up the rack. However, I'm elevated over the 10, so I don't want to do that. So what I think I'm going to do now is go to the rail maybe and come out here for the 6, or I can go under the 6 to this rail and up. I want to get a shot on this 6. There's a couple of ways I can get on this 6. I can come around this way. I can go to the bottom rail and up. I can go to this rail and out. But I'll use the 6 as the key ball to try to get this angle on the 15 to open up the rack. The other alternative, which is not very good, is to, it's terrible. I shouldn't even mention it. You can try and pocket the 15 now and use the 10 as a break shot, get an angle to go off it, but that's a terrible break shot. You want to use the 15 as your break shot. So I'm committing to that. I don't need to play safe. So let's take a good look at it, like I'm doing right there. I'm going to come underneath the 6. Try and get something close to straight in on that 6 ball. Just keep trying. To the rail and off. Now I can make a comfortable bridge. Looks like I've got an angle to just go to the bottom rail and back up. So right now I'm visualizing. Did you see me stroke my cue twice? I'm visualizing the speed it's going to take. I want to make sure I come above the rack, but not too high above. And as it turned out, I decided to draw it to get that angle. And I've got a pretty thin angle here. Sometimes you might say to yourself, this is a really tough shot. I want the cue ball here. So it's still makeable, but it's a tougher shot and it's missable. It's missable as well. If the cue ball was here, I'm probably not going to miss it. Over here, I got a little bit of a fear of missing it. And what I'm trying to get at is there's a safety here. There's actually a couple of safeties. So I'll talk about them real quick. It depends on the angle that you have. It looks like I'm a little bit thin for this, or a little bit full for this, but I might be able to pull it off. And that's bank the 15. The safety is to bank the 15 ball 2 rails underneath the stack. A lot of left English on the cue ball, and just let the cue ball open up wide and go up table. And maybe the angle is for the cue ball to go here and over to here. You would rather that the 15 ball stayed in play below the rack somehow, and not, if you leave the 15 ball open to either side, then your opponent's going to be able to see the 15, and they may not shoot it, but they'll have a return safety. But if you can keep the 15 ball hidden behind the rack and in play, then you really are making some trouble for your opponent. Probably though, the 15 ball is going to come up and just tuck itself up under the rack and not leave a shot. That's okay. The other safety, which is probably don't have the right angle for this, and that is to shoot full into the 15 ball, banking it 3 rails above the rack, and then inside English on the cue ball with top high inside, so that the cue ball goes back to the rail and the cue ball goes over here under the rack. I don't like that as much because your opponent has lots of options if you leave him underneath the rack as opposed to up at the head rail. But there you go, a couple of safeties. I'm going to go for it, though. I feel confident, and I'm practicing anyway. So I don't need to play position here. The cue ball has no choice but to go into the rack. Let me revise that. Let's look at where I'm striking the cue ball. Yeah, look where, right there. There we go. Look where I'm striking the cue ball. I don't think you want to use top on this cue ball, because that's going to make the cue ball kind of curve a little bit. You can miss the top of the rack, or you can hit the top of the rack and the cue ball goes up table, which you don't want. It depends on the exact angle, but as you can see, I'm using a center ball because I want to make sure that the cue ball doesn't curve and come straight and smartly off that side rail. I'm probably even using a touch of inside English. And it helps here because when you're hitting this hard, sometimes you can not cut it as thinly as you want. And when you're hitting it with speed, if it brushes this rail at all, it's going to rattle, and that's what you don't want. So I'm hitting this with a little bit of speed. I'm making sure to overcut it, and then a touch of inside English. So the inside's going to help me to pocket the ball even though I'm overcutting it, and the inside's going to help the cue ball go down, a slight downward angle, down at the rack rather than straight across. Let's see what happens. Ooh, it didn't, even with that inside, it did not go down towards the rack. It came across the top. Notice I didn't blast it either. So I hit it with pocket speed. Let's take a look again, because did the 15 ball go cleanly? No, it did not. Okay, so I was playing that differently than I described. I was hitting it softly. I didn't use high English, and I probably did have a little bit of inside. By hitting it softly, the pocket it kept the pocket bigger so that it accepted that ball, but my cue ball hit the top of the rack. But because I hit it softly, my cue ball didn't go all the way up to the head rail. And so when you hit it softly, the only balls that are going to open up are on this side, but your cue ball is going to be over there as well. And as it happens, I've got a shot and I can continue. So a little bit of bonus suggestions or tips there. And I think you get the idea. Not every rack is going to be textbook, man, not even half of them sometimes. You just got to have a positive attitude and keep on trying. Hey, I hope you like that rack of the week. And remember, if you're going to play straight pool, play it straight. And see you next week on Rack of the Week. Thanks. Bye.